Welcome to the Strategies to Win podcast. I'm Christopher Mazurk, the owner of Mazloy LLC, and I'll be your host as we demystify marketing for small businesses. I recently released a book, and for the next few months, we'll be exploring excerpts from that material. In this episode, we unpack the real story behind marketing results, what to expect, how to measure them, and how to turn passive traffic into paying customers. So let's dig in and rock out. Results are where the marketing industry gets a little shady. Small business owners are painfully familiar with fly-by-night marketers who knock on their door and promise the moon. The truth is that some of your results will be direct and some will be more indirect. You'll get sales, but you'll also get window shoppers. It's all good as long as you know how to turn those window shoppers into buyers. This is what success looks like when you repurpose content. Paid media results. These are far and away the easiest to analyze. As long as you have your reporting tools configured correctly, you'll be able to see if the leads you're getting are worth more than you're paying for the ads. Give each paid media campaign 3 to 6 months, and if you're not seeing a return on your investment by then, it's time to try something else. SEO results. Search engine optimization, or SEO, relates to your organic, unpaid listings in Google. Users who find you through those results are unlikely to be clients. They're more likely to be people that are browsing or looking for information, window shoppers. But that's okay. Think of it as speed dating. Maybe one of those speed dates will work out, but we're mostly creating an opportunity to get information where that opportunity never existed before. During speed dating, you provide basic information about yourself, how you look at the world, for example, or what your story is. You're not proposing marriage or a cross-country road trip. You're just trying to get a second date if things seem right in your brief moments together. On a website, your speed date is your transitional call to action, and your second date is the user's legitimate email address. If you have their email, you have opportunities to stay in front of them. In marketing, we refer to this as a nurturing campaign. So you have the customer's information. You've never had that before. Now you can finally go spearfishing. SEO is unlikely to be a direct source for clients, but over time, especially as you continue to improve the quality of your blog posts and your videos, the quality of your website traffic will improve, and you'll start collecting those email addresses. For a brand new website, the typical conversion percentage rate will be between 0.5% and 1%. Our goal is to reach a minimum of 3% as quickly as possible, and it happens. I've seen conversion rates as high as 20%, which is pretty uncommon. Really good campaigns, however, usually convert between 5% and 10%. So your SEO results might not be earth-shattering, especially at first, but you're creating and empowering your marketing machine. By creating blog posts, getting people to your website, and giving them a reason to share their email addresses, you'll have the ability to reach them again. You can, for example, send them new blog posts through your newsletter. You're creating opportunities to follow up and go spearfishing. And those are the results we're really looking for from SEO. Social media results. The next place where you'll get results is in social media. These are the primary social media channels to use: Twitter or X, Instagram and TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook. Twitter or X. Real talk alert. It's pretty unlikely to see results from Twitter or X, especially right away. Developing an audience on Twitter or X takes a long time. Also, Twitter or X users are usually looking for short snippets, which isn't ideal for marketing. Google references Twitter/X, however, and Twitter/X activity is an indicator of a website's legitimacy. So use Twitter/X for those reasons. Direct ROI from Twitter/X traffic is rare, but your likelihood of getting results varies depending on whether you offer B2B or B2C services. Instagram and TikTok. If you're a B2C company that offers products or services to consumers, you might see some results from social media like Instagram or TikTok. The challenge is that social media platforms aren't particularly friendly to organic traffic for businesses. It's a well-known fact that these platforms' algorithms bury organic business-related content. They prefer to get businesses to pay for traffic. That said, social media is still an extremely powerful way to communicate with your user base, and there is value in the credibility that producing consistent content provides. Also, your results from Instagram and TikTok will probably be the lowest of the remaining 3 platforms, as Instagram and TikTok do not give you an easy way to provide calls to action in organic posts. For example, unless you pay for an ad, Users have to click a link in your Instagram bio to leave the app. And that's not something people do all that often on social media. Instagram knows this, and they're counting on you to buy ads from them to get around the limitation. But we're more clever than that. Instagram is less about driving conversions and more about staying in front of your user base. If people choose to follow you, however, Instagram's algorithm should show those users your posts. And with more and more people using Instagram and TikTok, this just makes that blue ocean bigger. LinkedIn. You would think LinkedIn would have the highest potential for B2B marketing, right? Sometimes it does, depending on what you're selling, but most users don't open LinkedIn with a ready-to-buy mindset. LinkedIn is more like a business card trading online platform. It's not quite as social as other social media platforms. With that said, LinkedIn has a lot of untapped potential, and if it continues to grow, you'll want to be established there. Businesses use it primarily as an organic social advertising tool. Recent advances in AI content authoring have blown this door wide open. If you have a good presence on LinkedIn, and if that presence requires essentially zero additional effort from you or your team, there are opportunities to drive results. But don't expect to see too much from LinkedIn or Twitter/X, Instagram, or TikTok. Facebook. Facebook has more potential for traction in comparison to the previous platforms, especially if your posts induce engagement and you pay to boost them. That's where Facebook will shine as a marketing channel. If your audience is on Facebook, you'll probably see the most effective results there, including conversions and clicks to your website. Remember, clicks to your website are the first step in getting legitimate conversions. Facebook typically has the highest potential of the social platforms. Even still, you'll probably see more results from your SEO efforts over time. Next in line will be social media, and then finally, in a distant third, will be your podcast. Podcast results. The results you can get from podcasts depend on the value of your offering and how closely your offer relates to your product. For example, if your business offers online classes, and you can offer those online classes in your podcast, you'll have a decent chance of converting traffic through that channel. But most companies' offers aren't that closely related. Most companies offer a service or sell a product, and plugging your product in a podcast gets tricky. If you're going to sell your product through a podcast, it would usually be as an ad or a sponsorship in someone else's podcast. But podcasts give you a platform to speak directly to your audience. It's a low-cost way to get your story across in a format that users find appealing. And if your audience finds you organically through your blogs, you can invite them to listen to your podcast, further expanding your net. Moreover, instead of being on Google alone, you're also on iTunes and Spotify. Podcasts increase the number of search engines you appear in because iTunes and Spotify are search engines too. All that said, the direct results from your podcast are probably going to be the lowest of the marketing channels. But there's still value in getting that content out there, and frankly, it feels pretty cool to be able to say, hey, I have a podcast. A podcast adds legitimacy to your brand. It makes people take you more seriously as an authority in your industry. You're going to see some conversions from podcasts, but probably not many. Never say never, however, especially if you have a compelling call to action built into your podcast. Thank you for joining me as we unpacked the real story behind marketing results, what to expect, how to measure them, and how to turn passive traffic into paying customers. If you'd like to buy my book and access the supplemental content, please visit mazloy.com/win. Until next time, I'm Christopher Mazurk with Mazloy, where we make marketing convenient so you can have fun.